I didn't remember inviting her. The thought crossed my mind the second I saw Vexia step through the front gate. The music was loud enough to shake the windows, the backyard packed shoulder to shoulder with people from school. Strings of lights hung between the palm trees, casting everything in a warm gold that reflected across the pool. Someone had already started a game of beer pong. A group of girls crowded around the dessert table, arguing over who got the first slice of my birthday cake before I'd even blown out the candles. Exactly how I'd imagined my birthday: loud, chaotic, alive. "Happy birthday!" another friend shouted, pulling me into another hug. I smiled automatically. Thank you. More people arrived every minute. Some I knew well. Others I'd probably met once and forgotten immediately. That was how parties worked. Friends brought friends, and eventually your house filled with strangers who somehow knew your name. I scanned the crowd again. Then I saw her. Vexia. She stood just at the entrance with the rest of her family. She looked exactly the same as she always did. Dark clothes despite the California heat. Skin so pale it almost reflected the string lights overhead. Black hair falling around her face as if she'd made a personal enemy of sunlight. She wasn't talking. She rarely did. She simply watched. It should have been unsettling. Instead, it was irritating. There was something about Vexia that refused to blend into the background, no matter how hard she seemed to try. She stood perfectly still while everyone else laughed, danced, and shouted over the music. Somehow that made people notice her even more. I never understood it. Or maybe I just didn't understand her. Every rumor about Vexia contradicted the last. Some people said she skipped school more than she attended it. Others swore she'd gotten into fights outside of town. A few insisted she lived with her siblings alone in one of those enormous houses hidden in the Hollywood Hills. Nobody really knew anything, not even me, and I hated not knowing things. Almost as if she'd felt me staring, Vexia lifted her head. Our eyes met across the yard, just for a second. Her expression didn't change. Neither did mine. Still, something settled over the noise around us. The music faded into the background. The conversations blurred together. The entire party seemed to disappear until there was only that impossible distance between us. Then she looked away. Good. I looked away too. I had better things to do than think about the one person I hadn't wanted showing up tonight. Clara! Someone shoved a birthday drink into my hand before I could think about it any longer. Speech. Oh, absolutely not, I laughed.
The party was louder than I'd expected. Music rolled through the backyard hard enough to vibrate beneath my shoes, and everywhere I looked there were humans, talking over one another, dancing, laughing, drinking as if tomorrow didn't exist. It smelled unbearable. Hundreds of heartbeats overlapped into a steady rhythm beneath the music. Warm blood drifted through the air with every passing breeze, tangled with perfume, chlorine, grilled food, and expensive liquor. My hunger stirred almost immediately. Vale shifted beside me.
"You okay?" she asked quietly.
"I'll survive."
She sighed. "Just don't be stupid."
I wasn't planning on it. Vex disappeared into the crowd before either of us could stop him. Typical. I stayed near the edge of the yard, letting the noise wash over me. Feeding wasn't difficult. Most humans never remembered a thing. One brief distraction, a quiet corner, a small bite. By morning, they'd blame the soreness on too much drinking and an unfortunate encounter with a mosquito. My eyes drifted across the backyard, searching for someone already heading home or someone too distracted to notice me. Instead, they found Clara. She was surrounded by friends, a drink in one hand, while someone balanced a ridiculous birthday sash across her shoulders. She laughed at something I couldn't hear, throwing her head back just enough for the string lights to catch in her hair. Someone handed her another drink. She accepted it without hesitation. Clara was already unsteady. Not enough to worry her friends, but enough that her heartbeat had settled into a slower, warmer rhythm. The scent of alcohol sweetened the air around her every time someone brushed past. Human blood always changed after a few drinks, warmer, richer, more tempting. I looked away. There were easier choices, safer ones. Then, as if the universe enjoyed testing my patience, Clara caught me looking. She excused herself from her friends and started walking in my direction.
Why is she coming over here? Vale asked.
I was hoping you would know. Clara stopped a few feet away, studying me with the same expression she always wore around me. Suspicious, slightly annoyed, a little flushed from the alcohol. I figured since the party is dying down, the easiest option was the drunk one. So I had no choice but to make a move. You know, I said, for someone throwing a party, you look like you're having a terrible time. I chuckled. One of her eyebrows lifted.
I am having a good time.
You've been glaring at me since I got here.
I wasn't glaring.
You have a very distinctive glare. She folded her arms.
And you have a habit of showing up where nobody invited you.
Fair. I heard there was free food.
There is.
For a second, she just stared at me, like she was trying to figure out what I wanted. Then she laughed. It was short. Accidental. She looked almost annoyed that it had escaped.
I still don't know why you're here.
I smiled, small enough that she almost missed it. If I told you the real reason, I said, you'd probably ask me to leave. I frowned sarcastically. She rolled her eyes.
I was already considering it.
She shook her head, muttering something under her breath as she turned back toward the crowd. I watched until she disappeared among her friends. Vale reappeared beside me a moment later. I glanced back toward the party. There were hundreds of people here, plenty of healthier meals, but not the one that smelled the best.